burn live, burn live, burn live, burn live, burn live, burn live. It's going down, baby. Burning through ashes, trying to make common sense. Burn live, y'all. Burning through some conversation, trying to ask y'all some common sense. I appreciate everybody coming through. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever time you are watching this. I am your host, Capiche. With me, I have my boy, Johnny After His Heart. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, brother, and yourself?
All right. Hey, man, you missed some good episodes yesterday.
Yeah, I probably did, I probably did. I can't complain about that. I can't lie about that.
Yeah, boy, I can't. So we started a new segment to where we're gonna be talking about we're gonna be doing cop cam and court cases,
Okay.
breaking that down a lot, getting deep into that, seeing what rabbit holes and how just giving our opinions and what I want to see and hope eventually happens is that people get to see what part of the judicial system they do and don't like and where we can see changes come.
Mm.
And the only way, I think the new age way to do that is by shedding a light on it, actually putting a light on it, showing people, giving out your opinions. People are not gonna like everything that we say. So I
All
think
about
stuff like
speaking.
that, huh?
Nothing, not you, my baby.
Yeah. So going down a rabbit hole like that and talking about a case like that, I think that would be very beneficial for us. And sharing, like I said, I just want people to see laws and stuff that they disagree upon. Like, yo, we need to make changes. I'm like, yeah, I could probably agree with you or disagree. It doesn't matter. The point is putting a light on it.
I may talk to one of my friends. His name is Marcus Williams. You could probably talk with him. He's been trying to run for city council and stuff like that down here, well, up here in Rochester. So he has a pretty cool mind. He talks about wanting to keep the people safe and things of that nature. So, he talks about trying to get more energy supplies to the uh, community. So, he has a very he has a very good political mind, and I probably would like to chop it up with him maybe.
That's what's up. Also, ladies and gentlemen, either Wednesdays, we have an exclusive on X and Rumble. We're going over to P. Diddy, Netflix, breaking it down, watching the whole episode by episode. Sponsored by the Vibes community. TikTok that coming to Rumble doing that exclusive breakdown. So if y'all would like to come be a part of that, that's on Wednesdays. It's going down. We haven't got an exclusive time yet. That's one thing we haven't worked on, but definitely going down. Come check that out. It's going down. A lot of things are happening Mondays. Traveling. I'm having a day. I haven't got a good title yet, but I'm just calling it travel for Mondays. Traveling on Mondays and talking about that. It's just everyday talking. We're expanding the growth of the channel with different people, different um, outtakes on things. Shout out to Rumble, X, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook for allowing this platform to grow. I appreciate it. And yeah, Money Demon actually got his little intro, his little 6 second intro up in here finally.
You do. Let's see it. Hmm. Creative.
Yeah, creative, short, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a regular, you know what I'm saying? I can't even call him a guest on her, so he a regular, but still, I want to still be able to promote his channel and stuff like that. So that's just the first edit of it. He said he's gonna redo it. I'm like, cool, 30 seconds, 20 some seconds to show off what you do on your channel. I think all of us should do that. I'm definitely gonna make one for the TikTok family and stuff like that. And yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is Burn Live Stamp, baby. You see it right there. Burn Live Stamp. It's
Mm-hmm.
official.
So Caprice.
Let's get into it.
Caprice is empathetic.
Possible.
From what I heard you speak, I can only think of you being empathetic. When you say that you feel other people's emotions and what they're going through, that's that's considered being that's considered having empathy, right? I mean,
Yes, I
let's
agree.
look up the I mean, we could look up the definition to be exact. You know, if you want to blurt it out.
Gemini, are you there? Gemini, are you there? Can you hear the Gemini? Can you hear the Gemini?
I can't hear him. So
You can't. Okay, that's
no.
that's what I wanted to see, because I got Gemini helping me back there, but I want Gemini to be able to help me, but y'all can hear too. So I just wanted to make sure. So let me cut this one off and let this help me when I need that one. All right. So what's the question?
Look up the word empathy.
Uh, can you give me the definition of empathy?
Yes.
The definition of empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It goes beyond simply recognizing that someone is sad or distressed. It involves actively placing yourself in their frame of reference to genuinely imagine and feel what they are experiencing. Key components of empathy. Empathy is often broken down into two main types. 1. Cognitive empathy, perspective taking. This is the intellectual ability to understand another person's mental state, thoughts, and perspective. It is knowing what they are feeling and why they might be feeling it, without necessarily sharing the emotion itself. 2. Affective empathy, emotional empathy. This is the capacity to share or vicariously feel the emotions of another person. When you witness someone else's joy or pain, you experience a corresponding emotional state. Empathy versus sympathy. The concept of empathy is often confused with sympathy. The
So would you say you're that second half, not the intellectual part, but the other aspect of it?
I'm going to agree for the sake of conversation, sure.
Okay. Um. So, shoot, how do you think we can become more? Uh, how can you say? How do you think we could become more uh, productive with our approach to being empathetic towards people who aren't in the right space to receive help or the kind of help that we want to give them?
That would have to start with patience.
Hmm.
If you're a person that can feel emotions but you don't have patience, um, you might get more um, headaches, earaches. Your body ache more because emotion is like a vibrational signal. So if it vibrates too hard and gets through the core, am I froze? Whoa, I straight froze. What I gotta cut off? I gotta update something. Okay, I gotta update something. I seen that. I gotta check on that. But basically what I'm saying is emotions on a vibration frequency and it hits your body so hard that your muscles, your bone will ache. So therefore, if you can't, if you don't have patience, that means you get irritated real fast. What's that called, ADHD or the other one or whatever like that. So it's like you really have to know you first. Like, am I a patient person or am I a non-patient person? And then you can go from what's the next step.
So, how can we develop patience, right? Because I believe that each and every individual in the world wants to be able to do some sort of good. I believe we do bad, but in the heart of it, we want they may have done. Still think that they have an opportunity to become better and be better. So if somebody doesn't have the right method, the right approach, and they're lacking patience in that, how can they acquire patience?
Patience come with finding calmness. I know people like to say meditating. I really got to think about my audience and trying to hit more of a common sense barrier. So it's finding your calm spot. Some people go fishing. Some people, how some, like, you can see the most calmest person in the noisiest place. I, I know you have seen that in some people. So it's finding what that is. Everybody's calm is not, what I'm saying, it's not the next person's calm. And what I mean by that, just because you see a group of people saying, hey, go do this is what helped us, it may not be able to help you because I done ventured off and tried to find things to keep me cool, calm, and collective. And those is just not my itch. So you really have to find out what is your peace? What is your calm? What is your quiet place?
I get that. I totally do. And I believe that will work in an environment where an individual, and it's, well, not environment, but in a situation where an individual needs to grow patience, right, from a certain situation. But I want to go back to the question at hand, is us wanting to do good, right? Trying to do good. And we do that in wanting to help people. So what happens when my help for that person is not working because of my lack of patience for them? Like, how do I develop patience in the midst of going through a situation where I'm trying to help somebody, but it feels like it's just not getting through? You know, this happens with our kids. This can happen on the job. You know, this can happen anywhere in life with our parents, anywhere, you know. So, how can we develop patience in that moment?
You would have to change the obstacle course. You look at the situation. Okay, I hate to. I'm using this as imaginary form, but I'll try to break it down in two different ways. But I'm gonna break it down like I'm gonna say it like this first. Just because you come to a door that you cannot open, don't mean there's no way through the door. Okay? Just because you come to a roadblock in situations, because like you said, everybody do it, doesn't matter where it's at, doesn't mean there's not no other way. And the loudest, quietest as kept, because it's a double-edged sword, but it's not. It's really a double-edged help. Is when we come to the door and it's locked, there's always some type of opening. We just don't look at it. So I'm gonna say it like this: we always come to a locked door that's always open. And now I know that may confuse everybody, but really listen to what I'm saying. We say the door is locked, but really that door is not locked. The door is open. We're just not looking at the situation correctly. That's 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 life.
Mm-hmm.
So when you when you're in a predicament where you're the help and you come to that door and you're in my state, it's noise effect. It's whatever's on the other side of that door, because other side of that door is not the end. And you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the patience grow thin, because most people think like as soon as I open this door, it's over. Like I'm done. It's like being in the court. As soon as I solve this case, it's done. It's over with. You know, we can all pack our cases. I went home. I solved the problem, and it's not like that. And that's where grow the patience, understanding. Once you open that door, once you get past that door, get ready for the next door. Because you can, I don't care what type of problems you solve with somebody. As soon as you open one door, you close another door. That's a good detective. To notice what, to know that you move left, but still what happened on the right. That's a good detective.
Mm. And we talking about people right now, people,
People.
situations, and problems, right? So,
I like to break it down like this.
go
And then
ahead.
this is how I used to do it. When I discuss things with people, I used to say the question mark, the first main question mark. And you use this method because therefore it's not me trying to answer your problems. It's you. This is not for people that's watching, it's not for you. It's not for me to answer, it's for you to answer. But the first question, right? It's like building a spider web. We got this first question. to be a good person, to want to solve it, you want to solve this one big ass question. And understand it's the big question. But when you go through that door, you didn't solve this big question mark. You solved a little one that was over here, that was way over here. You think you solved this one? No, you solved this one. Now you got to get prepared for this one. Everybody goes through that. A lot of us want to solve that big question, and there is a percentage of us that answers this question and then go on about their business. They're happy, they're joyful. Why? Because they know the big question. If you cannot answer the big question, when you get these other small questions that build around the big question, because life happens, you can't stop and just solve this. And in life, like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna wait till you solve that one. No. As you're trying to solve this, you get more and more questions. Life happens. So once you learn how to solve that big question, the big question, that who the fuck am I type question, I bet you these questions wouldn't even matter.
So, how can us, the helper, right, when dealing with people, how can we not give up on them, right? How can we continue to be around them, continue to endure, continue to, as some may say, put up with? How can we stay around without isolating? Because that's kind of our go-to, right? We isolate, or we may go do something, right? For me, sometimes it was playing basketball, right? I know you brought up fishing and other things to get to that place, but when you got somebody out there dying, right? Somebody's in dire need of help, you know, we gotta be there for them, right? So how can we be selfless in those moments and put others before ourselves?
Understand helping, but don't you, as the help, get sick. We, you, them, as help, cannot get sick. So you have to understand there's a limit to everything. You don't want to be full, you don't want to be empty. You can't help a person on a full stomach. You can't help a person on an empty stomach. You can't help a person with a ton of shit going on. You can't help a person and you have nothing going on in your life. Like you and people look like, well, take the time out to really understand the full analysis of what people mean by full you can't help and empty you can't help. If I'm empty, I have nothing. What I'm gonna give you? Nothing. Because I'm piled up with nothing. So I'm gonna give you nothing. And sometimes your help be nothing. But you don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Because a person that you're helping is not going to show the nothingness that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, just understanding that, hey, you aren't at the capabilities of pushing the needle and stuff like that. It's a way to present things to people so people can understand. Everybody have a understanding level. But we done grew up in a time to where we're looked down upon man. Everybody look down upon man no matter how they look at it because it's like, where's my status? How many followers you got? You know, I have conversations every day on Taco the Tick with people. Normal conversations, everyday conversations, to where they attack the name and the character of what it represents instead of attacking who I am and what I stand for. That's people like, why? Well, you got the name. You never asked me why I put the name right there. I already know why you put the name right there. You don't know the reason why. You can assume. You can say all the things the word, but until you get clarification, and that's what kills me about pointing the finger at a bad guy that's a monster compared to pointing the finger at the boogeyman and not knowing who you pointing at. That's a big issue that nobody, like everybody.
And who's the boogeyman?
The boogeyman is a person, place, or thing that you blame as an excuse that has no visual form, has no title, has no name. That is the boogeyman. The boogeyman, in the political terms, is systemic racism. Boogeyman is when you point the finger at, oh, it's the white man. But yet again, you ain't never met a white man in your life. A white man never called you the N word in your life. You personally never dealt with no type of discrimination or racism in your life. But yet again, the white man bad. What the fuck? That's the boogeyman. The monster will be, hey, I don't like his name is such and such such. He did this on this damn day. The facts this and this and this person. This is who he is. This is what he's done, and this is what he's about, and this is what he's going towards. That's a monster because yet again, you can point at the person, place, or thing.
Do you think sometimes when we're trying to help and when we grow a lack of patience for people, we're dealing with a boogeyman as well?
To get trapped in somebody else's world, yes, you can point at the boogeyman too. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So so instead of so so what I believe would be a very good method um, to help grow in more empathy for people, which will help us develop more patience as well, is to think about ourselves and certain moments of our lives when we, in terms, were dealing with a boogeyman, when we were unaware of things. And it could be hard because, like you said, you want to answer the big question, right?
Now that's the help. I don't think all help want to answer the big question. I
Okay.
said that because that's always the goal. Now don't get it twisted.
Yes.
That's always the goal.
Yes,
But
that's
I think
always okay.
there's
Got you.
always. I mean, because I mean that's just like
I got you. That is true, and I get that. I get that too
okay.
because I
But
totally get
then
that.
I don't like. I want to say like this, like the real thing to grow patience with a person, to be honest with you, is never closing your door on that person.
Mm. Would you think that's a sign of patience, not more so growing in it?
Knowing in it is knowing that you never shut the door. Growing in it is never locking the door. That's hey, do you know how easy it is to lock a door?
Yeah.
Okay then. You know how much harder it is to not lock the door and always keep it open. You don't know who's coming through your back door. Remember, they're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So they're coming through the what? The back door.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. That's patient. Because yet again, I never know who's coming back through that door.
Mm,
I always know somebody's coming through the front door because they knew you're going to see them coming.
mm,
A new person never going to come from the side or nothing. I
mm-hmm.
I don't care how nobody paint the picture and try to describe a person coming through the sides or a new person never comes through the side window, door, back door. That's logically impossible.
Mm,
A new person is always going to come through the front. You're
mm.
always going to see a new person coming. Now you can shut your eyes and say, "Hey, peekaboo, here's a new person." Yes, that can happen. But to come, no, no, you always seeing. I don't care who you are. Let's be in reality. You always gonna see that new person coming.
Okay. That is true. That is true. And it's it's a journey, and with any journey, sometimes we may get lost. Um, and we just have to get redirected, right? Got to put the GPS back on, right? And with dealing
Yeah.
with people, our GPS is always, when it goes back to it, it's always where was I when I was when I had their perspective in the world. Right? We're trying to bring people to a particular place of knowing and understanding, so that way they will be able to reason within themselves whenever the boogeyman comes.
One thing I can't do is explain to a person how did I come up out of all the stuff that I've been through.
And I totally agree. And it's not gonna take that either. Because guess what? We're all individuals. So that person's journey may look a little different than your journey. And the next person's journey may look a little different from their journey.
Right.
But the bright thing is, right, when we get lost sometimes, we know our way back, right? We when we get lost, we're like acquiring new information, right? New ways to either use the same tool or acquire a new one. But either or, it's all gonna be for the benefit because it's a journey. We're learning one another, right? We're learning each other, right? And
Why do I
some
think? Why do I think one of your questions that you kind of want to know is what is the downside? What is the downfall to looking at a person that you can't help?
yeah, or looking at a person where you get to that point where you feel like you can't help. That was one of the first questions I asked because
Yeah,
we all get to
but
that
to
point.
but to describe a visual looking when you like, hey, you know, I did such and such, and because me, far as in relationships, my thing is I have forever been ran over.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not one relationship where I can honestly say where I ran over the person because I'm not cut from that type of cloth. Um, you know, to look at somebody on a journey doing a thing and they come across your path, you're a new person. It's like what I say when if you're lost in the woods by yourself and you come across a stranger, are you gonna follow that stranger out the woods? Or are you gonna stay there and be lost? That's the
Well,
same type. I'm sorry. That's the
no,
same
go
type
ahead.
of journey that you take in life when you meet a stranger or a significant other or a best friend or just somebody just to help you out, a
True,
guidance.
that's true.
Okay. So the thing is, when you make it out the jungle, can you see that you made it out of the jungle? Or does the help actually got to look back and see, like, damn, I made it out the jungle, but you still in there? Yeah, hold their hands, walk out. Y'all walk together. Hey, we went through this, we're out, we're good. Yeah, I know, got you thinking.
Well, there may be parts of the jungle we don't know, you know,
Yeah, that
that we may have to equip ourselves with, right? And that's
understand.
why I said it's a learning thing. We may have to learn how to use the same tool that we have in a different method, or you may have to try something new. But at
Okay,
the end of the day, we still get information out of it, right?
true.
We grow from it, right?
We grow, true. Because yet
Mm-hmm.
again, we got out.
Mm-hmm.
Yet again, we're not trying to make a situation hard. Like, simplify it the best means possible. So when you simplify it, okay, there's no irrational jumping the gun, throwing all my emotions into it. Because once you throw all the emotions into something, then you don't move right. Why? Because there's too many stuff in the way. How can one thing multiply by five?
How can one thing multiply by five if you have five of the same thing?
Then you can't move nothing out the way. If one turned into five, you didn't move nothing.
Well, that's where the growing comes in at.
You can't grow over there. You don't grow over there. You got to move it.
Growing strength.
Do some push-ups.
Yeah, or go fishing.
Go fish and come right back to the problem. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Sometimes you may need a break to think about things.
This is what you cannot do. You can't stay fishing.
Nah.
That's where your 5 turn into 20, your 20 turn into 60, your 60s turn into 80s, your 80 turn into 90, your 90 turn into 100. You can't stay fishing. And I'm not gonna lie to myself that at a time where people were getting into learning about foundations and homes and houses and stuff like that, boy, I was traveling, being ignorant to the world. I was. There are times in your life where you have to be ignorant to the world. You have to. You have to cut it off. You know, there were now back in the days before electronics and TVs and stuff, you didn't have to cut off the world because yet again, you wasn't part of the world. You was help growing the world. Back the 40s, 30s, 20s, on back, keep going on back. You wasn't part of the world. You was help building the world. Now that today's society, you are part of the world because you innovate with the world. You know what's going over there in China. You know what's going over there in Pakistan. You know what's going over there in Africa. You didn't know that shit was going on in the 40s. You didn't know there was a starving baby with a big old fly on the eyelid until they put it on a commercial. He was donating money.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna bring us back a little bit.
Go ahead.
Um to coming up with ways um to be able to not give up, right? You know, knowing that relationships is kind of like a workout, you know. Sometimes you got to work your way up to be able to handle bigger problems. It's not necessarily meaning that you're not um, ever going to be able to handle them, but you may just have to get equipped for it. And, you know, the only way to truly enjoy the journey of life and its downfalls and, you know, when it pertains to dealing with people and enduring these relationships and not giving up on anybody, you know, it's to have some grace for them, you know.
Sir, I don't tell people this much because I think the internet tells them for plenty of time. There's so many quotes out there,
Mm-hmm.
but most people, because I don't know the percentage, but most people out there don't know what it feels like to not have the phone not ring.
Mm.
It's 2027, 2028. I can't use old terms. I gotta use modern. So really think about that. People understand breakups. Everybody you go through them, but you don't. They don't know what it feels like to have that phone not ring at all. There's only a few of us, and I fit in that category of knowing what it feels like to not know, to know what it feels like to have that phone never ring. Some of us are built to be cold. It's not our fault. We're not trying to be. It's just like we just had a cold breeze for majority of our lives. We haven't had that warm heart feeling of cuddleization as other people. But then you would take it as a person being rude or obnoxious, just not understanding that, hey, it's been cold over here.
Mm,
You expect a cold person to be warm? How?
yeah. Um, how can we not let life affect us in a way that's gonna cause for us to treat people poorly? And uh,
It, see, the thing is people treat people amongst the way they have been treated through life. The thing is, are you gonna take the time out to figure out what they've been treated through life, or are you still on this high horse of I need to be treated this certain type of way because I'm this. I'm who I am. I'm I'm burned live. So therefore you had to treat me up here. Not hi, I'm Capiche. You're you. I don't know what you've been through. So I understand that you're gonna treat me a certain type of way and I should just expect the unexpected.
mm,
That's that's the thing that nobody does. Everybody, I'm, but everybody's up here.
yeah,
No matter what they've been through, they up here. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Okay, cool. You meet a stranger danger, he better not tell you nothing. So you can't get mad of not knowing how he is. Remember, you told him he can't tell you nothing.
yeah. And I feel bad because people wonder why they fall so hard. You know why they trip so bad. You know, and it's because of where they place themselves. You know, so high. You know that when a situation does occur that's not in their favor, it feels like the end of the world. You know, but how can we, as a people, still find a way to love them? You know, in the midst of all of that.
I don't know, cause you asking a hard question for somebody who hasn't felt the definition of what that word really means to even
Mm,
show that affection. I can only help you move past hurt because therefore that's the field I know the most. I know hurt,
mm,
I know pain.
mm. So I'm sure you know those things. So how about we step in an unfamiliar place that may even cause us to be a little bit uncomfortable? And in that uncomfortableness, right, is where we're able to grow a little bit more deeper in the love for people, all types of people, no matter who you're dealing with. So,
You know, you don't have to love to have an open arm, right?
What do you mean?
Meaning, I don't have to love you to want to help you.
Right.
I don't even have to like you to want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some people could just be obligated to it, like it's their job, you know.
Yeah, but I just
And
want,
I
I just
think
want
that's a
the
good thing.
audience. I just want the audience and people to understand. Like, don't think that everybody help you, like you, love you. Like, no, like it don't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that love you that will help you. There are people that would like you that will help you. There are also people that can't stand you that will help you.
Mm-hmm.
I just want people to like really, because I know there's some people that are watching probably like, no, there's no such thing as that somebody that don't like. Yes, they will help you. They not, and I think that's another thing people sit blindly to. Helping you is helping you. You may not accept the help that people help you. It may not be the help that you were looking for at that time, but I guarantee people help you move along.
Mm.
You may move left, you may move right, you may move up, you may move down. But the point of the matter is somebody helped you move along.
And you may be the person who may not like somebody, but be helping them. And
I definitely not help people I did not like. I can
yeah, I'm not
100%.
speaking about. I'm not saying you per se. I'm speaking
No,
to like.
but I'm just putting that out
But
there so
yes,
people like, you know what I'm saying? He must be speaking from experience. Yes,
yes.
I have 100% helped somebody I did not like. It wasn't a problem. Did I not like that person? True indeed. But did I still help that person? True indeed. It's like sometimes you just can't put feelings with business.
Yeah. And I think that's an important thing that you said because sometimes our feelings can get in the way of us and how we help people and maybe even who we help. You know, in the Bible, we talk about that being the spirit waging war against the flesh, right? Where your flesh is saying no, 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 but the spirit is saying yes, yes, yes. It's like the spirit saying go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. And the flesh is like, I had enough of this. I had enough of this. I'm sick of helping. I'm sick of doing good. I'm sick of doing this. And some things we may realize that, you know, if it wasn't for God, if you want to put a label on it for some people that may need that to help them get through it, just say if it wasn't for God, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing right now. You know? And I'm pretty sure a lot of us may have come to that predicament in life where if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be doing this thing. And that thing that you're doing is a thing that's just too good to be true. You know, it's a thing that's like we would not expect this from you. You know, and it's in those moments where we say, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing it.
Um,
You know, but to keep going a little bit, when
I,
you
I
grow,
I
when we
wanted to
grow up,
say something, but I wanted to make sure I worded this in a way that's, I don't know. I feel like this episode, I really want people to think, you know what I'm saying? Not
Mhm.
I really don't want nobody, unless you understand fully where we're going and you be like, okay, I just, you know what I'm saying, I just get it. But I want people to take the time out to think
Mm-hmm.
before just answering certain things about who you are, what you are, where you going, and what. The who, what, when, where's of life, period. You know,
And how to navigate these relationships without
hold on.
isolating yourself.
You can't, now that's impossible.
Mm.
You can't put down You can't put down a road and always know where it's going, or you're never
Mm-hmm.
going to build a road to somewhere.
That's true.
Because what is the purpose of going on your journey and so-called trying to find yourself? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's the time where you go to get lost to find yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's one of the beginning steps of your spiritual journey. So in a relationship, cause if it don't work out in a relationship, you're going to be by yourself. So you're going to be singled out. You're going to be lonely until, therefore, the significant whoever else come along. The thing about that and what people don't look for is what I keep saying is, what do he when somebody what's the word I'm looking for? Um your interest. When somebody sympathize in your interest, take the time out to look for what's interesting you. You know, hey, you're cute, but before I say that you're cute and everything else, what are some of your goals in life? How can I move us forward? When people have more of that interest in a person, instead of, hey, you're cute, you got a fat ass, I like your titties, I finna spin you, bend you. That's why we got this rate of marriage and life, and nobody wants to get in a relationship because yet again, we like the outside and we never sat down to talk about the inside. We
Mm.
don't You don't do that. They did that back in the days, but they don't do that now. So therefore, when you get turned down any between in there, that's not a scratch, that's a scar. And today's society with social media, you're gonna put a band-aid on it, post about it, and keep pushing. You can't put a band-aid over a scar and think that it's gonna heal in a week. You got to put the medicine, you got to go through all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why traits keep happening over and over. And things happen to those who prolong getting into relationships too. It's the same difference for those two. You know what I'm saying? I put too much medicine on this scar to where it's overhealed to where I think that it's still a scar here and there's no scar, but I'm still trying to heal something that's not there.
Mm.
You see how it is, and that's what people don't do. People look at things and like, oh, it's got to be the same. No, it's never the same because you went this way and I went this way. You got a scratch, you put a band-aid over it. Cool. I got a scar and I try to put a band-aid over it. Then you got somebody that got a scratch, but there was nothing there, but they still trying to heal themselves. Then you got somebody that didn't get touched at all and can't smile. Everybody goes through something different. But yet again, we were quick to say, oh, I've been through that. Oh, I've been through that. I know what you're going through. Let me tell you, you going through that. How you gonna tell me I'm going through something? You can relate, sure indeed, but you can't tell me how I emotionally grasped what I went through.
Mm. So if that's the
That
case, empathy doesn't exist.
it does exist because I'm not emotionally telling you just because I feel your emotions because it's multiple. I'm not emotionally telling you what you went through. I am emotionally going on a roller coaster ride with you, and I'm trying to figure this shit out so I can get off.
Right. Sometimes it's that, other times it's an intellectual one. where it's not so much of the body feeling, but it's just the mind, right? And so so when you say that if I don't know how you feel or what you're going through, that means that I'm lacking empathy for you in that moment, which in that moment could be true if I'm reacting in a way that is not in correspondence to the situation and how you're feeling. Like if I'm downplaying how you feel, like if I'm shoving it off, or whatever the case may be, that may be necessarily true. And I get that, because that we could be lacking empathy in those moments.
Yet again, I would gonna agree and I'm disagree. I'm gonna tell you both why. The reason
Mm,
why I agree is because yet again is how you perceive your emotion. What level is your emotion on as you accepting what is you receiving? Yet again, I'm gonna disagree on the simple fact that your emotion is high and you're accepting things on emotion. You're not calmly listening to every vernacular word that is coming out of a person's mouth so you can understand it fully.
mm, mm. That is
That's
true.
why, and that's why that's why 9 times out of 10, most people before they have an argument with somebody, they replay it in their head. So therefore, before you get to the argument, that's why you fired up. Why are you fired up? Because you already had an argument. You already thought about what he or she was going to say before you even got to the argument. You already know game plan set up, bullets in the chamber. You ready to go. I wish you would say this line. I wish you would say that line. Instead of coming into a argument, not knowing what the person's going to say, keep an open mind. Like, hey, I dislike this, whatever, whatever. But before you sit down and have that argument, do not already have a premonition of what this person going to say because you're already angry. You're already, yet again, remember, 100 is over the top. You can't take 150 is normal. One is like you're motionless. So if I'm already at 80 because I was at 50, I got mad. I went to 50, 60, 70, 80. By the time I got to you, I'm at 90 because wow, I've been arguing with myself. So who am I really mad at? I haven't even talked to you, right? I haven't even talked to you, but I'm mad. I'm already at 90 because I done argued with myself. Had this conversation about what you gonna say and how you gonna say it, and how you gonna deliver it. That's a humongous problem. And I be pointing that out to people. They be saying, yeah, but yet again, they still do it.
Mm,
And then when I pointed out that you're doing it, you don't want to hear from, oh, how dare you say that? I can't believe you. It's true.
mm. You know, sometimes sometimes there's a Bible verse, right? It says the word of God is sharper than any double-edged sword,
Amen.
um, piercing dividing the soul and the spirit, and basically it just talks about the uh, the power behind it, right?
Right.
And we have to we have to know that the weapons of our warfare are mighty and not carnal. So I have to handle what I have with delicacy, right? It's like if you carrying around a gun, right, and you're supposed to be a peacemaker, I can't shoot at all. I mean, well, let's consider it as a knife, not a gun, because that's crazy.
No, no, go with the gun. Go with the
If I
gun.
have
I
a
want to
no,
hear
if I have a knife and I'm trying to perform open heart surgery, I have to be able to yield what I have delicately, right? So how can we do that? Well, let's step into people's world sometimes, right? Let's see what they think, why they think that, and let's try to figure this thing out the best way possible. Because I know how connected we all are. And like I said, I know we all want people to do well, to be well. And that's just what we want out of people. I believe every human being has that in them. But sometimes
I'm
we
not
just don't.
doubting that. But
Sometimes we just don't know how to go about it, right? Meaning, like,
one thing
okay,
that you one thing that you're not adding at all, and you
what?
haven't even brought up in this conversation at all,
Go
is
ahead.
those who want to play ignorant.
Okay.
Those who want to play you for your intelligence, those who, when you are hitting those facts of life, like the TV show, The Facts of Life, and they want to play dumb. Oh, I know. That sounds like you have no. Yes, I do. I still feel, but yet again, you still have to point that out.
Right.
I know you
But
wouldn't.
for me, things would have to get to an extreme point to that, right? Meaning, like,
No,
no. Meaning, like this for me, right? Personally
no,
speaking.
no, 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 no. We're at the point of engagement. We both are looking at the monster. We're not looking at the boogeyman. We're looking at the actual monster. You can see it. It has a name. We both can agree upon it. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, this is what we call a turning point in life, no matter how it goes. Okay.
Okay.
This is that turning point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you want to play ignorant all of a sudden because we finna take one step. Now you want to play dumb. Stop
Mm.
playing with me. And you trying to say there ain't no empathy? Yeah, because you know why there's still empathy? Because guess what you're gonna do? Your hand gonna go from here to here, and then your head is gonna do what? What's wrong?
Mm.
You're not gonna to lose empathy. You would have did this. You would have let go. Your hand would have opened. You would have walked away. Your hand would have opened, y'all. Your hand never opens. It's balled up. It's behind you, twisting of the arm. And what do? What's wrong? you can't face you can't face a monster and then play ignorance.
No, and I totally get that. Um, but
But nobody
sometimes
want to talk about them.
sometimes we have to actually open our eyes to see the monster, right? Sometimes our head is turned towards them, it's turned towards the monster, but our eyes aren't open. So sometimes we have to be able to open our eyes and our hearts, most importantly, to whatever we're holding on to that we need to let go of.
Listen, I helped a friend since 2017. I seen her, thought she was cute, but we were not on a relationship thing. She was like, "Oh, I can do your hair." Cool. You can do my hair? Yeah, I can always help you do your hair. Homie, you do my hair. You always got a place to come shower up, wash up, do whatever you got to do, homie. Like, slide through. Times got rough for her. She got strung out on drugs. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping 100, not speaking of the person's name. Got strung out on drugs. Did I close my door? No, kept it open. Come on, I get it. Walked down the street one day, people was ready to beat her up, stick a dog on her, had chains around their hand, ready to beat her up. On me, I'm just telling y'all a story. I should have turned the other way, huh? Nah, felt
No,
bad.
you did. You did the right thing.
I know I did the right thing. Felt bad. OG, man, y'all tripping, man. This the homie. Like, come on, man. What? Don't even know. Listen, don't even know what I'm talking about. What? OG? Yeah, come on, OG. Yeah, all right, OG. Come on, man. Stop, OG. Stop. Ah. You know where my friend at right now, bro? Because
Where?
I kept helping. Even though I got into a relationship. The relationship said you better not mess with her ever again. Still helped her out. You know where she at right now, homie? Back with her kids, doing good, off drugs, living a good life.
Praise God.
So I know what it takes to really help a person, and that person goes out there, and that time got to get rough for them, not me. That time got to get rough for them, and then is my door still gonna be open? Am I still gonna be willing to help after everything that led up to then? Am I still gonna help? Because she made a my friend that I'm talking about that did good in Arizona. She may did a couple of things that made me mad and upset.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah, she did a couple of things. Got infuriated. Oh, I'd never help her again. Oh my God, I can't believe Doom, 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 doom. Hey, Capiche, can you help me out? Sure. Come on. I get that. I even get it when you and a friend y'all fall out or whatever, the person you help, whatever, and they go in the next room and you hear them cussing your name out. Oh, Capiche ain't nothing. He a dirty dog. He always wanting stuff. He thinking he can help me, but he'll never help me. He need to go help himself. He a loser. That happens. But when you need help, am my door gonna be open? Am I still gonna be willing to want to help? Because, like you said, if Jesus would,
Yeah.
they probably cussing Jesus' name out, and before they knocked on the door, boom, 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 boom. Hey, Jesus, can you help me? You just got done cursing his name out in vain. I get that. I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
trying to say I'm the best helper, because I'm not. I don't have all the advice. But I know when you emotionally, and when I say emotionally, when you have a bunch of emotions all tied up in one, and you come around me, even though you don't want me to know nothing about it, you know what I'm saying? You don't know me. I don't know you. You're a total stranger, and you have a lot of emotions. I bet you I can point it out in a heartbeat. I bet you're going to trigger my whole cool, calm, and collective vibe that I had going on, and I'm going to get emotional. And I bet you I can point at you and like, hey, you are emotional. And you're going to be like, why? Because you just made me emotional. I don't even know you. You just walked through the door. Man, stop playing.
Yeah.
Sir, I don't help people get raises at their job that we worked at and then got cussed out the next week by the same person just because I was going through a bad moment.
Mm. Do you ever feel like people aren't there for you and your worst moments or your bad moments when you're always there for them?
I think people can't be there for me when I go through those times and I go through those uh, trials and tribulations
Why?
because you'll be there.
Yes, but why do you think they can't?
They can't because it's got to be something for me to learn. I don't learn good with help. I can lie to myself and say I do. I want to lie to myself and say I do, but I don't. I really don't
Why don't you learn good with help?
because help is nothing. Because help is crutch. I don't see where I made my mistake at.
What you mean? Like, give me a
You have to
scenario.
look at the mistake in the mirror.
Hmm.
The things that I've been through in my life, I had to face it, analyze it, talk to it on my own. Know that it was there. I couldn't avoid it. I couldn't play it like it was something else. It was there. This is you. You did it. You see what I'm saying? Like paying your rent, getting put out, being homeless. Who am I finna point at? Nobody but me. Why?
Well,
Because I
well,
am the reason.
well. In those moments, you can't easily point at you and say, "Well, I didn't play this," but you can also say if people were a little bit more gracious. Now, that's not me saying to turn a cold shoulder to people, but when you get in that predicament, right? If you're that homeowner or whatever, and you know that this individual may be going through something, provide the opportunity that you would have wanted in that moment. When we go through situations that are terrible,
You think I ever let a stranger lay on my couch?
you probably did. But I'm just
Okay.
speaking in general. I'm speaking in
No,
general.
and I did that so I can give the audience a scenario real quick.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I mean a stranger, I mean literally somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody you just walk past and your emotions went through the roof. Like, come on. I don't know. You got tonight is on me. We finna sit up, laugh. I'm finna crack the most corniest jokes, and you finna go about your day. Strangers helping another stranger is just some of the most remarkablest feelings of relief, of pain, of nobody was there to help you. Then getting a phone call from a family member that decided to show up.
Mhm.
Looking down at the concrete and looking up and seeing somebody point to you and say, here.
Yeah. Or sitting outside a restaurant and somebody gives you $5 to get you that meal that you needed. You
I've been
know.
retired, dude. I've been retired for real, bro. I was getting low on dog food. I didn't know how it go feast though. My dog. A lady didn't look at me. She looked at Snow. That's your dog? Yes. Her. Instantly, but went to go get dog food and go get some niggas some chicken nuggets. $20. Like I know that feeling of coming out of nowhere.
Mm.
That's why out of all what I've been through with people in life, it's really hard for me to close my door on people. On a person, meh, you got a better chance. But on people, I can't close my door. I would never close my door on people maybe on a person. And people have to really think about, like, what does that mean? Like, you think about it.
Mm. And for me, I don't look forward to closing the door on anybody. Um, no one, not a single soul. You know, and that's for me. I don't know what it is about me. Shoot, and it was tell you about a time that I gave my last $10 that I had to the church, and because I believe the Lord was leading me to do it, and that last $10 was for my McDonald's. My son McDonald's, and my kid's mom, my wife at the time, her McDonald's. This was back when $10 at McDonald's go a long way. You know what I mean? So, and I gave it to the church. And yeah, when I got back home, I got I got called the worst of names. I got called stupid and dumb and all types of stuff. And so I had to go talk with God after that. I'm like, God, why you had me doing this? Like, what's up with you, bro? You told me to give my last, and now this is happening, and by the grace of God, I see $10 on the ground, right? And there's our dinner. You know what I mean? And that didn't necessarily come from anybody in particular, right? Like that I could put a face to. Overwhelmed with joy and surprisingness and all types of stuff. So, it's good to do things from a place where you're being led by the Spirit of God. And usually it's always in contrary to what the world circumstances of good may be. Rather, oh, this person did XYZ, leave them alone. God could be telling you to have a conversation with them. Uh, Stop going around these people. Oh, they nothing but the enemy. Well, I could be the only light that they see. I could be the only hope that they may have. And so I got to be in these places, right? So, these are ways to acknowledge how the flesh and the spirit go to war against each other when it pertains to trying to do good. And sometimes we got to realize that we can't we can't really do good apart from God. You know, because every time I try to do good and my help that I try to give don't help or don't work, I get frustrated. I get upset. Sometimes I may even get mad. And at that moment, I have to realize, am I looking in the benefit of others or for myself? Because sometimes I want to help people so they can stop feeling how they feel so I can feel better because how connected I am. But sometimes I can see that causes me to be a bit controlling. So I got to step back and be like, okay, how can what I I want to help this person, right? But ultimately, I got to get myself out of the way because I really want to help me help them. So I got to get me out of the way and just say, let me just help them. And that's like, well, how can I get to that point? But then when we look at what love is, and we are as Christians commanded to walk in love, it says love is not self-seeking, but it's in the benefit of others. So it's like, how can I be a benefit to this individual without seeking my own interest in it? And these are just little things, right? These aren't like things that we may run into uh, all the all the time. Sometimes it may be, it just may be. But you know, that's why I'm thankful to understand what love truly is and be able to use it as a discernment to be able to properly care for God's people. And sometimes we mess up. Sometimes we mess up at doing that. And that's why it's important to have grace for ourselves, right? God is rich in it. He's rich in mercy. He's rich in grace. It's important for us to grab as much as that as we need. And until we realize how much of that grace that we need, it's gonna be hard for us to give that same grace to others. So it's important that we stay focused on what we need to keep us going, keep us being a benefit, a helping hand to those in need. So we need to grab as much of that grace as possible to be able to even love properly. To be able to be restored and say, you know what, God, I feel like I could do this thing. I gotta take that step back and say, God, I actually need you. I'm tired of what I've been trying. It's not working. I need you. Please help me. He's gonna drop it in you right there in that moment. And don't fight it when he's dropping in. James talked about when a man asks for wisdom for God because God gives it freely. He said, don't waver in faith because, we would be like the ocean and the waves tossed to and fro. So when he tells us to do that good thing, that's like, man, I can't do that. That's when we have to rely on him the most to do that, to muster up the strength, to be able to get through that and look back and say, it was only but God that got me through it.
I'm with you on that one. I am with you on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the jury, the boogeyman is an imaginable being that may or may not exist. You, as a person, have to figure out but understand that it always help somewhere, some way, some shape, some form, somehow. A monster is a person, place, or thing you can point out that has concrete evidence to it. Those you do have to face with hard. I know it's hard, I know it's painful, but those you do have to face. It's an unfortunate tale, but there's things that we have to do to get past, to better ourselves, to move on, to heal, to understand, to learn to love, and to progress. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time that you're watching this. This is definitely the Burn Live where we burn through conversation, trying to ash out common sense. Johnny after his heart. We're here Monday through Friday, giving you this Burn Live conversation. Until next time, have a good day. Bye bye.
Peace.